Hello, my internet fans. It's me, Statboy Mike, and I would like to welcome you to this week's installment of Throwback Thursday. The Casa D18 Studios Channel continues to sort through the archives of the Jeff Meacham Network, the Simple Man brand, JH95 FTW, NoDQ.com, and the Casa Channel in order to bring you classic content that you may not have seen in a long time, if ever. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy this week's Throwback Thursdays offering. I love you all. Stat Boy out.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
Let's see. Burger or sausage? Burger.
I mean, it's not going to matter when it comes to your diet, huh, buddy? Hey, how's it going, kiddo?
Well, I was wondering when you were going to just raid my freezer and fridge.
Hey, so, I was just in the neighborhood and I wanted to say hi. I'm looking for some, parameters that you might be working on, good sir.
Yeah, you done?
Not yet. You're fat.
All right, cut the bullshit, Lars. What do you want?
I'm just looking for some content, because, I'm fucking bored and I'm living in a fridge.
You want content?
Yes, of course I want content instead of the people, you dumbass.
The people want content too? Okay.
No shit.
If I feed you content right now and what's upcoming and what's already on FTW Productions, will you leave me the fuck alone?
Okay, maybe just for today, but probably I'll come back tomorrow.
All right, cool. Let's do it. Coming up this week on FTW Productions, we got AEW Spark and WWE Aftershock. WWE Aftershock, hosted by yours truly. God damn it, I watched a bunch of WWE content. I wanted to kill myself. But also, Noah Foster and Zero covering all the AEW stuff on AEW Spark. So go check that out on Wrestling Fortune 44 Incorporated, along with a bunch of retros for this upcoming week of Wrestling Madness. Because we got Impact Unbreakable 2005. We got Double or Nothing 2019. We got WWE Battleground 2013. And we got Night of Champions 2012. All retros are done and in the can for your enjoyment. 2 of them out now and 2 of them premiering this week. Speaking of premieres and lives, Noah Foster has got 4, count them 4, premieres coming up this week on the Simple Man's brand.
Simply predicting.
It's WWE NXT Battleground, WWE Night of Champions, AEW Double or Nothing, and Impact Under Siege. All that coming up and so much more. And hey, if you're sick and tired of the wrestling, well, guess what, Lars? I know you like food, so do I, and so does Casey. The fat fucking aficionados, we got you covered because we cover fast food and restaurants on Wrestling with Idiocy, Episode 8 on Insanity Works Incorporated. All that coming up and so much more on FTW Productions.
Yeah, it's pretty dope, my dude.
All right, you fucking happy now?
I mean, I'm erect at the moment.
All right, cool. Get the fuck out of my fridge. Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Oh, don't throw the... Wait, well, what about the brownies from 2B? You fat, no dick having motherfucker.
I heard that.
The following program contains strong language that is not suitable for young children. Viewer discretion is advised. In 2019, Michael X won the Wrestling Rundown Championship, taking the world by storm. But then, the virus attacked. These men promptly escaped from mental insanity by talking about the nerdiest shit on the internet, filmed in the Massachusetts underground. Today, still wanted by the people of YouTube, they survive as nerds, weebs, and dorks of fortune. If you have an obsession, if no one else can talk, and if you can subscribe to them, maybe you can hire the Indy Force.
Whoa. No. Pump the fucking brakes on the intro. Pump the fucking brakes. Pump them now. Pump them now. This ain't fucking meme time. No, I'm fucking pissed.
And so should you be.
Every single person here right now is pissed the fuck off, and for good goddamn.
We are jiggling with rage.
It is how do I say this? We'll get into the topic, but we want to first thank Ethan, who is H3H3 for making his video.
Bringing a lot of this shit to light, and I'm actually going to.
I wouldn't say bringing the shit to light, but more of the fact of making that information more well known and putting it into into an actual video of. And on top of that, we also have to give Aaron. I'm sorry, not Aaron. iDubbbz as well. His color, fucking.
Because he made a lot of these points prior. Yeah,
he did. He made these points prior 4 years ago.
He did.
4 fucking years ago, dude, and he's still doing this shit. To answer the question before it gets started, I am actually trying to fix something on my girlfriend's console. She's having a couple issues. It's a technical problem. So I'm trying to figure that out. So I will be kind of bouncing back and forth between talking to you personally and this for obvious reasons.
Yeah. Well, try to make it as quick as possible because I'm
definitely
going to need your help here.
I will take as much time as needed and as much time as I need to talk on here for the podcast. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is Michael X, and I'm here with the boys tonight to discuss.
No, you know what? Fuck it. Let's use your government name because I'm going to use. We already use our government name, but I think in this case, no fucking gimmicks.
Oh yeah, I don't care, but I'll say it now. The gimmick aside, because this is me without the gimmick. No fucking blinders, no nonsense. I'm not the executioner tonight. I am Mike Marr. That's A with an A. It's an M-A with an H, then an A, then an R. So in case if he ever tries to dox me or try to have me swatted, I'll fucking know exactly who it is. And, and then I'll come onto your show and fucking sue you for the simple fact that you decided to take my personal information and make it public for your fucking pathetic mongoloid ass.
Because you can't accept responsibility for the shit you fucking done wrong.
No, it's because he's not an adult. He's a little fucking pansy who has to sit behind a camera and pretend to be the tough guy, where without a keyboard and without an audience, he literally only has one thing, and we'll get into that later. Don't worry.
Let's start screen sharing. So before we get on to ranting, I do want to start it off with as professional as possible. Well, as professional as this is going to be.
Quote
so
unquote.
I have a series of tweets, some from me, a lot of them from other fucking people. Some defending Keem, a lot of them against Keem. So, the first thing I want to show, in case people don't follow me on Twitter at jhebertside95. Yes. The fucking gnome has been exposed. There is no separation for Keemstar and Daniel Keem. There is no separation for the man behind the character. They are fucking one in the same, and they are an asshole. And because of that, I guess it's time to continue the onslaught that Ethan has started, and rightfully fucking so, mind you, with an Indy Force Extra 3. Time to end you once and for all, you fucking prick. So that was what I said. There are a bunch of more tweets that I have also retweeted. I gotta find the one where I actually delete this. And about you guys, because I know you guys enjoyed the intro. So the clown and Tommy, it's not really what I really wanted to do, but it's what I have to do because I am not willing to support a dude who clearly lies about everything. So, delete forever. Goodbye. What other Keem videos do we got? Keem. Yep, a plea to Keemstar, which I have since privated because I thought he was a dick for getting involved in family drama. I'll get to that later. Understand. Delete forever. That's done. And I don't regret it. Okay, so there you go with that. So, yes, the baited intro, the custom baited intro that I made is now deleted. You cannot find it. And I doubt anybody will be able to repost it because I wasn't really that popular. It was popular-ish, but it wasn't popular to the point where people are going to re-upload it. So it's pretty much gone for good. Pretty much gone for good. Now, I could be wrong, and I could see it somewhere. If I do, great, but I, again, highly doubt it. So now we're going to get on to these other people's tweets. I have, obviously, I tweeted the baited intro because Colossal is Crazy and Tommy C really, really like this intro. I want to point that out.
And they're good workers.
Yeah,
both of them together are good YouTubers.
I really didn't want to have to delete it just because of them, but it got so bad to the point where it's just like, I cannot have this on my channel anymore.
And it's understandable because, honestly, out of all the individuals that were on the baited podcast,
Keem was the worst.
Keem was the worst for the fact that he did not want to understand from other people's perspectives and wanted to just say, hey, you know what? I don't care if you're working.
He's still doing it on Mom's Basement now. I fucking listened to an entire podcast only because I'm a fan of KSI and he was on it. And he was trying to stir the pot between him and Deji.
Instead of just backing away.
Just leave it alone. Just leave it the fuck alone.
He's cancer, dude. I don't know why anybody could sit there and say that fucking I'm friends with him.
And by the way, and you know what? Fuck it. I said I was gonna save it later, but I'll make this point now. Even if Deji did sub bots, which even if that was real or not, it has been reported by him first. And so now with the video that Ethan Klein has come out with, even if it's true, no one's gonna fucking believe him. And you know why no one's gonna fucking believe him? Because anybody with a fucking right mind is gonna be like, you know what? I'm gonna dismiss this because for whatever reason, he's deciding to put KSI and him in this beef together for no fucking reason whatsoever. Like, that has nothing to do with the situation of him botting subs. If he did it. Which I don't even know if he did anymore. If he did, great. But you know what? No one's going to believe you because you're the first one that reported it. And clearly, as we have shown, as H3H3 has shown, you have no credibility in this fucking scene anymore.
Exactly. On top of the fact that he has not, his audience is going to be the same thing. It's a bunch of kids. And honestly, children. Hear me out. I understand. I'm nobody. I'm a nobody, and I know I'm a nobody, and I don't care that I'm a nobody. I'm a nobody. But what I will say is this. If you are following a 30-year-old individual here who still acts like a child, stop. Yeah. Just stop.
I did.
Reevaluate.
I did, and
clearly, there's something wrong.
There's no point. Now, I understand that somebody could call us a hypocrite for the fact that we defended our boy Filthy Frank, George Miller, Georgie. We defended him for the fact that he was getting shit for being another individual on YouTube that was primarily satire upon which most people would find entertainment.
Yeah.
That being said,
Daniel
Keem will always be forever a cunt. He's not a snake. A snake implies that he has a tactic. He's a cunt.
Oh, he has a tactic. That's
fat,
snake,
wet, hairy Cunt.
He's a cunty snake. That's what he is, because he does have tactics. They're all shit. They're all terrible.
What
in
tactics?
the grand
But
scheme.
you still call them tactics? This man does not
They're
have
tactics.
He just
It's
attacks.
shit tactics, but they're tactics. It's fucked. It's fucked, really. They are tactics, though. That's the problem. And that's
Well,
why
what does
that's
he
why
gain? More
H3
views,
made the
that's it.
video he did, because he is a snake and he is a cunt.
Because all he knows how to do, and this is no bias, I've never watched his channel. I'm telling you that as an individual that didn't find a need to watch his channel.
Yeah, and
I don't care enough to go to his channel and discuss. Listen, if you want to see drama on YouTube, just go on Twitter. Literally, just go on Twitter, because that's where most of it is.
Yeah.
And who's primarily the reason for most of the drama that is on YouTube and on Twitter?
Keemstar stirring the pot for the sake of fucking views.
Just because he could. I mean, for fuck's sake, if it wasn't for him promoting that stupid-ass fight, KSI and Logan Paul. That's something that nobody cared about.
You know what? No, because you know what? I don't fucking agree with that. You know something? I respect what Logan and KSI did for the fucking boxing scene, actually. In spite of Keem trying to make it more than it actually fucking was. Keem was almost the reason why the fight was called off! He was the reason why it was almost done. That's on him. That's on him.
I'll say this. I'll say this, and this will be my last point that I want to make for my behalf. Daniel Keemstar, whatever the fuck his personality is, because he has none. As an individual and as a human being, I don't know how you're making money on YouTube taking people's personal problems that nobody needs to know about.
Right.
And bringing them to light for your own personal benefit.
Yep.
Do you know who had the same idea and personality of, let's take the internal emotions of somebody and bring them out in order to see what they're really like? Well, Manson used to do the exact same thing.
Yep.
Manson used to specifically give somebody LSD to get them all fucked up, except you decided to do something even scummier and go after kids, which, for the guy who talks about pedophilia, what's your audience again? A little fucking sus. It's a very, very sus. Very suspected. Yeah, suspicious, if you will.
Suspect.
No, honestly, continue while I actually go get cookies, because
Because you're fat and nobody cares.
Yeah.
Because we can't have one video of this podcast, at least once, without you eating, and that's fine. Listen, you have a routine. That's fine. At least it's not popcorn.
Oh yeah.
All right. Because hey, how to show that you don't care about your audience, or specifically care about the people that you bring onto your podcast. Make it seem like you're watching a fucking movie. That's great. People's lives to you are a movie, whether you want to determine that or not. That is what it seems like. That everybody's life is a joke, especially the people that are mentally fucked up and need help. Instead of helping them, let's bring up the problem so that way I can make some money on YouTube, because without it, I would be a nobody working at fucking McDonald's.
I mean,
and by the way, really quick, which by the way, before somebody even says it, no, I've never worked at McDonald's. I was a painter, and I'm still a painter. And why do I paint? I enjoy it. I like actually painting. It's fun. It's a good way to get outside, get some exercise, and relax. So, yeah, just putting that out there. And Nikos, you worked in the restaurant scene, and James has worked behind the counter at the local, our local fucking BJ's. Yeah. So just putting that out there in case if somebody goes, "Ooh, you can't say anybody working at McDonald's because you guys could have worked at McDonald's." I've never worked at McDonald's. I've worked at a Wendy's. I've never worked at a McDonald's.
I'd rather work at a Wendy's, but that's beside the point.
I'm just putting it out there that if I'm criticizing him for his ethics and the fact that if he was to take his personality and go outside of YouTube, he would be fucked.
I'm gonna read some tweets.
He would.
All right, so we're gonna get to that part
Edgy
because
hasn't
again, we were
fight.
supposed to, and I stressed this, guys, for the love of God, we were supposed to save the shitting until after we read the proper points.
Agreed, but I just wanted to give a perspective, if you will.
An observation.
Trust me,
So Elvis the
I'll
Alien.
go harder.
So Elvis the Alien TV replies to Ethan's video. A person's repeated actions over time defines their character. So when Keemstar inevitably comes out to defend himself against H3's video by saying you're bringing up old drama, I don't think it holds much water in this case.
You're out of your mind. That it absolutely does.
Well, no, it doesn't hold much water in Keem's case as far as it does. You're bringing up old drama. Like, that's not going to hold water. Ethan Klein
is that why we have video footage of
after
you
his
saying
video
shit?
came out. Let me speak, goddammit.
My
After
apologies.
his video came out, he said, "Dear Keemstar, this video has been proven wrong, and yet it's still up. When will you retract it and publicly apologize?" For those who not understanding what this is referencing to, he accused an old dude named Tony that he was a pedophile, even though he was just playing RuneScape because he liked to play RuneScape. He thought a guy looked like him who also played RuneScape, supposedly.
And lived in Massachusetts.
And the guy lived in Massachusetts. I think the guy that actually did what Keem claimed, I don't even know. I think he lived somewhere in Alabama, somewhere. It wasn't in Massachusetts. So
Keem decided to get his audience
yeah.
to go after him. Whether he intended that or not, it doesn't matter if you intended. As soon as you talk about it and bring up a story, and instead of doing back-checking and making sure that it's the individual that you're trying to figure out who it is, no. Let's not do research.
I want to point this out as well. Came in 2016, then apologized because he felt terrible, supposedly.
Yeah,
But then a year later, after he apologized to Tony and gave him money, basically, to make up for the.
There's
for
no
the
money.
damage.
There's no money in the world that can repair what he did.
No.
There's no money in the
kept
world.
getting hate, and he explained to Keem that. And then he basically told him to shut the fuck up because my fans didn't do it. I'm sick of you saying that it's my fans that did it, even though you admitted yourself that you're the one that caused that to happen. It doesn't matter if it goes on a year later. You are ultimately the reason why it even happened in the first place. I will continue. This Tony guy, this is the Tony guy that Keemstar accused of being a pedophile and then told him to fuck off. Thank you guys for showing him love. He deserves it. Tony here, which by the way, I'm going to follow this guy because I really do like him. But I'll do that on my own. Oh, wait. You can do that apparently right there.
There is one thing that needs to be said.
He
Tony
said, thank
is
you
a
all for the
60-year-old
H3
man.
Street community. Yahoo!
Can allow me to say at least one bit here.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Not only could Keemstar be, I don't know, found upon with bullying when it comes to an actual charge at this point. This is one of the... Listen, by the end of this, I'll have a court case ready to go. Not only was he going into somebody's personal life, because we'll discuss that a little bit later on, but he bullied a 60-year-old man. A 60-year-old man who has no idea how to work the internet the way that us youngins know how to.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that he had the gall to attack an innocent individual with his hammer of justice, well, he fucking swung at the nail, and it turns out the nail was in the wrong spot.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody's going to take him from this point on as news, it's not. It's not news. It's
It's TMZ of YouTube. It's what it is. But anyway, we'll continue.
No. At least you know what? I'm going to give TMZ some credit. At least they've never bullied somebody.
At least they get their facts right most of the time before reporting on a story.
Mm-hmm. At least they try to do some fucking research and aren't fucking dumb little troll
And not
cunts.
looking at a picture and...
At least they're not
saying
unpaid
for a second
interns.
and then-
At least they're not unpaid interns.
Oh yeah. Let's
But you know, just the way I see it, they may be paid. I don't know, but to me, when I see the drama alert DM thing, it seems like he just gets his fans to
do the
search up
research
these
for him.
stories that are unpaid.
By the way, congratulations, Keem, for becoming a Twitch streamer and getting G Fuel.
I want to preface that while we cover these
news pieces, he can call it defamation all he wants, but this is my opinion. You cannot censor my opinion, and I know you're probably going to do that with Ethan's, and you're going to do this with this podcast.
No,
so,
we're not. Dude, we're not. Listen, I'm only giving my direct opinion of you as an individual. Let me set the facts straight really quick, because I think it's important that we do. My name is Mike. I'm here with our buddy Nikos and James, and we're talking about Daniel Keene as a YouTuber. As an individual, I don't know who he is, but I wouldn't be shocked if it's the same fucking human being that we have seen, which I'm so glad that clip that you have in the background is constantly playing of him deciding to say the N-word in public without it being satire or a joke. And oh boy, there's so much more. There's so much more. There's a reason why he's in the asshole fucking... He's in our little asshole museum at this point. We'll make a fucking museum by the end of it.
Oh, yeah.
Trust me, we'll get there at some point. I'll make a wax figure of him.
Ethan Klein already beat us to it, but anyway, I'll continue.
Mm-hmm.
Juicy Wayne, who is verified on Twitter, I assume he's a big deal. I don't really know him, but he tweets out, "Y'all underestimate how bad I want to beat Keemstar and the J Station N-word up for the wild shit that revolted around my boy, Etika. They used for content. The Ouija board shit and all the poking fun Keem did, nah, B. This N-word better not say something goofy about Etika, B." So,
and then he did.
Oh, yes.
And then he continued to do it. And then he did it for about a year. And then Etika killed himself.
And then he tried to backpedal.
And then he tried to backpedal then he started deleting all the shit too.
And by the way, another opinion involved in this whole thing. Okay, this is not news. This is an opinion show. Just want to point that out there.
We'll talk about this.
Did anybody ever consider that the reason why Etika's mom and his girlfriend, or at this point, even though they weren't married, widow, tweeted out that they were friends, stop bullying Keem, blah, 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 blah. You ever think they're saying that because he paid them hush money like he did with Tony?
It'd shock you if he did? Just putting that out there in case people think that, oh, this is genuine what they're saying. Just my opinion. Yep, and this is... he has a history on this, so, Let's not forget about this freaking gem. I shouldn't even say gem. Let's remember this clip.
Alex is doing this shit. You fucking nigger. I swear to fucking God, I'm gonna... Yo, everybody type in the chat, Alex is a stupid nigger.
This is what this dude said.
Now, okay.
This is what he said.
Now, here's the whole thing.
To a black man, by the way.
Now, here's the whole thing.
I don't care how long ago it was. It was unironic.
Hold on. We as individuals can be criticized that as well with the whole situation of Del Rio. And we've made racial jokes on this show. I won't deny that.
Yep.
But the shit that we don't mean or we're trying to make a joke about, we censor. Because we're not trying to be bad taste. We're not trying to have a bad taste.
And we're not
trying to be professional.
We're trying to be as professional as we can be, but also entertain you folks at home as much as humanly possible.
We're not trying to claim that we're a news channel.
No, even though we discuss news, but we give our opinion on things. We're not sitting there going, no, this is what's going to happen. It's like, no, this is what they should do. I mean, we did an entire podcast talking about James, Nikos, Casey, and I working together on an AEW presentation. That was pretty much it.
And WYW as well.
That was it. And we talked about our shows. We've talked about stuff that we were passionate about.
Now, here's the other thing. I want to point out that I'm passionate about this platform, and I hate to see this platform just go to complete waste because of this waste.
James, this platform has gone to fucking waste over the past years.
If you ignore it, the platform's actually a lot better.
Oh yeah, probably. But I'm saying this isn't
it's
helping.
Actually peaceful. You get like obviously today because he's H3H3 made a video about him, but he needed to, and this needed to be brought to light, obviously. But
listen, it's been 4 years and the man hasn't changed. 4 years since his other fuck-ups.
I have unsubbed to him when he started getting involved in the Olatunji beef, when he never should have interjected himself, period, and should have stayed neutral.
Oh no, he was going.
Scarce did that. That's why I respect Scarce as a newsman, because he actually plays it straight and plays it as the middleman. I'm sorry Keem doesn't. And I don't even think Scarce calls him... Scarce is more humble than Keem is. Keem is just like, oh, I'm the newsman. I report the news. I have to do this stuff because I report the news. Even though Colossal has told him, you're not a news channel. You're doing this for your entertainment. That's all it is. And it's very poor taste entertainment. He's also said that before. And then
go to school for journalism.
And then you got Scarce that doesn't claim himself to be a news channel, yet he acts more like a news channel than Keem freaking does, and Keem claims out of complete egomaniacal bullshit that he's a YouTube news channel. And by the way, Scarce covers like all entertainment. He doesn't just cover YouTube, which means he's able to upload every day. Keem only uploads every week now. You see the pattern? Do you see the pattern here on why he's trying to stir up drama between Deji and KSI? Do you see the pattern now on why he was trying to start on the same podcast was trying to start back up Jake Paul and FaZe Banks and have them beef, even though FaZe was like,
I'm gonna do this.
This too petty bullshit beef.
I'm gonna do this really quick. The major reason why Keem became the forerunner of his channel, which is Drama Alert, is because he is a failed Halo 3 YouTuber.
Yep, thank you. Thank
you. That needed to be said, and it is absolutely true. So let's go over it really quick. Keem has a lot of controversies, including the Battlecam.com thing, where he decided to say Alex is a stupid, obvious N-word, the Total Biscuit nonsense, Jake Paul accusing Keem body shaming his girlfriend. There's a whole bunch of shit. Etika passing away about a year ago, and the tattoo lawsuit that's going on now.
Right.
Now, we've already discussed this. We've already gone over Keem in the past.
And you know what? I also want to point out, there is stuff that Keem is in the right on. I'm not saying that there isn't. But this isn't highlighting that. I'm sorry. When you have enough bad shit that outweighs the good... Now, there's no justifying that he's a good person.
We did talk about Keem on this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We have. We've already had a discussion. That's why I'm like, why do I feel like I'm covering the same ground? Because we've already talked about him. And I'm like, fuck, okay, let's try to spin this then in a different way so that way it's more entertaining. But
I'm not entertained by this. I'm actually more angry.
Give me just a second.
I mean, I feel dirty just talking about this. Like,
everybody does.
Disgusting.
No one likes it.
Let me put it like this. Keem is almost 40 years old. He is 38 years old currently.
Yep.
And the fact that this 38-year-old man is going on YouTube, and I know somebody's going to sit there and say, well, now you just sound like Leafy. Hear me out. This 38-year-old gentleman who is an adult, whose opinion does matter, because everybody's opinion does matter unless it's a topic that they have no idea what they're discussing about, or they have done no research in. To the President of the United States and hunt down the Freeman. Let me put that out because that's important. Daniel M. Keene is a sociopathic moron who attempts to be an entertainer and tries his damnedest
to disguise it as news.
And as a individual, and he has hit the 1 million subscriber threshold. He's at what, 5.3 million up to date.
Yeah, sadly.
I don't know why YouTube is sponsoring this man. Like,
why is G Fuel sponsoring him? I'm going to send this podcast right to them once we expose this dude for more shit he's done. Ethan's probably already done it before we did, and he has more of a fucking following. But anyway, so I'm going to keep reading tweets here. Now, Colin actually said something that I somewhat agree with here.
Go for
Keemstar is a piece of shit for a million reasons, but I wouldn't put sole blame, which is true. I do want to put that on.
He cannot be solely to blame for what happened with Etika. Etika took his own life. That was right. Etika's thing.
And that was.
But I will say this:
it didn't help.
James, if I put a bullet in a gun, does that make me the murderer? No. But I didn't help the situation.
And he should be held accountable for that.
He should be held accountable for what he did. He was taking a mentally ill individual.
And again, I guarantee you his mother and his girlfriend were paid off because nobody in their right mind would be okay with their child or spouse or in this case boyfriend for the girlfriend. No one would defend him for that, okay? The only reason they're defending him is because Keem probably paid them out. Because at the end of the day, I don't care how you want to spin it.
From our opinion, hold on, that has to be said. From our opinion,
you are solely putting this man and his mental disorder on a pedestal for people to laugh at.
Now, and on top of the fact,
he had no, and I mean no regulation on what Etika had no idea what he was doing. Etika, even if he was friends with him, probably asked him to do the interview when he was still in his mental fucked up state. Period. There was no defending it at that point. He is guilty by association doing that. You cannot defend that. There's no defending that. If you think, Keem, that you can defend yourself by saying that I did this because Etika asked me to, I want you to hear me out, dude. It's fucking wrong, and you never should have done it.
Here's what's wrong.
If he was really your friend, you would have told him that's a bad idea, dude. I'm wiping my hands clean off this. I'm concerned for you. Please go back to the hospital. That's what you would have done.
Nikos.
That's what you would have done.
Nikos, you had something to say. Go for it.
Yeah. Why would he still consider Etika as his friend, even though, based on that interview, there was no connection with them? Like, even after his passing, he would just assume, he's my homie.
Give me just a moment. Give me just a moment.
Go ahead.
A singular moment for this, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Sure, go ahead.
If he was Etika's friend, why did he not take him going missing as seriously as he did and call it a public stunt for popularity's sake?
Yep.
Why would he do that? Right. What would be the point of that?
Because he does not know the meaning of friendship. He uses friendship
mental health
as a veil.
Speaking of which, James, never mind just friendship, Nikos. He doesn't even consider mental health to be legitimate.
No, he doesn't.
And what does he call mental health? People with mental health issues. What does he call them? Weak.
So
in
Keem.
All caps.
So Keem, I'm going to tell you this because I care. Not about you, but about other people. If you ever come up into my fucking face, you bearded gnome cunt, I will smash your mouth so fucking bad you'll be swallowing your teeth for the next 2.5 months.
Yep.
Now, the reason why I'm saying 2.5 months is because you won't be able to say TH.
Let's preface that for the love of God. Let's preface that. If he attacks you first.
Oh, no. If he gets up in my face to begin with, I don't give a fuck. You get up in my personal space and you start poking me, I will hit you with so many fucking rights you're going to be begging for a left. And if he has the balls to even do this, I'm going to say this, if he has the balls, which he doesn't. Just to give him a little background, my name is Mike Marr, and as a human being, I trained at the Marciano Gym from the age of 6 to the age of 15. So if you don't think that a Golden Glove winner like me can fucking lay you out, let it be known. I will. James has seen me go up against 5 guys in a row.
I'd be recording it.
James had seen me back up against the wall against 5 other individuals, and I've knocked every one of their asses on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
I have no fear of a human being, nor man, woman, or child.
I'm gonna read
But
the rest of this
Killer
tweet, by the way.
Keemstar, Killer cuck fuck, Killer sucks a big
Hold
dick.
on.
Is
All right,
what he's good at.
hold up, because we're not even through the rest of these tweets.
I know.
Okay,
Just
I
know
get
your
it.
place.
I know you guys want to
step the boundary.
Wait until I read the rest of the tweets.
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I beg.
Go right ahead.
Okay. Now, as Colin said, I'm going to reread what he said. Yeah, Keemstar is a piece of shit for a million reasons, but I wouldn't put the sole blame of Etika's death on him. If you recall Etika's tweets, if you recall on Etika's tweets, the thousands of dumbass kids spamming clown emojis at him every day also factored in heavily. Keem shouldn't have gave it attention at all.
Agreed.
Oh, and here's a meme. It's another meme, and I like this guy's meme. Watch out, boys. Keemstar about to pull one of these out in his 2-part response. The victim card.
If you require a 2-part response for your defense video,
yeah, part 1's going to be on Etika, and then apparently
part 2 is going to be about himself,
and then apparently the rest of it is going to be the other stuff he was accused of. So somehow having a murderer on your show apparently doesn't deserve its own part. Apparently that can easily be disproven. Idiots. Anyway. So yeah, there's the victim card. There's the meme. Definitely, that's going in the meme highlight reel for sure.
And if you don't mind, I have a piece of good evidence. If you don't mind me putting it out there,
I would prefer if you
of Keem being kind of a how should I say, a Mary Sue.
Can you wait until I'm done reading the tweets?
Go for it.
Okay.
I'm just saying that I have some knowledge that I'll be dropping later.
Trust me, we all do. We're gonna share it. I want to get through these tweets. I said I wanted to get through these tweets before we even shit on the dude. But whatever. Because at this point, I should have known that this was gonna happen because we were all fucking pissed off about this. But I do want to kind of go about it in a different way. So, a guy by the name of Icy Arox or Antonio, God knows how many numbers, says, my favorite YouTuber was Etika. When he had a mental breakdown, I was worried. He died, and fucking Keemstar gave no shits. By the way, he also made fans swat a YouTuber. Plus the DDoS shit is effed. Fuck Keem. Another meme. There's some guys outside waiting outside for you, Keem. And then it shows the dudes, the casket dancing meme guys. Nice little cover there.
Yeah.
Fuck Keemstar. Y'all my homies hate Keemstar. Then Juice Wayne again tweets out. What was it? Dog, I am filled with absolute rage right now. Keemstar is an effing pussy, and I hate him for milking and egging Etika on when he was going through it for money. I don't fuck with H3 weaponizing his death just to make the point either. I'm shaking. Now listen. I want to point this out. I really do want to point this out. This is not... He may have weaponized it, and I totally see the argument here. In fact, I'm going to stop screen sharing just so that way I can be shown. Okay, I totally get it. That would piss people off. But it is what Keemstar did first.
Yes.
He is not doing this because he and I know he didn't know Etika, okay? But there are a lot of people, myself included, that were fans of fucking Etika. And what Keem did was beyond fucked. And I pointed out why it's fucked. I've already said that. I don't need to keep beating a dead horse. There's a reason why Ethan made that a part of the freaking video. There's a reason if you're going to say that about him and Etika, you could say the same thing about everybody else he mentioned. Basherverse included, who almost killed himself. FuziTube, who also almost killed himself because of this dude. Like, you can make the argument for that as well. The only difference is this guy actually did it, and yes, it's definitely upsetting and wrong, and I get it.
Nobody wins when there's a suicide.
Nobody wins in that situation.
No.
But you know what? It needed to be brought up because there was so much shit that he was covering up that just flew out of the radar of people. And you're going to tell me, you're going to, honest to God, tell me that Ethan shouldn't have put that in there because it would weaponizing someone who killed themselves? He needed to. This was a huge thing. This is huge. And this was covered up thick and effing thin. And you're telling me that he couldn't put this in his video when he was lied about, when everybody else that he mentioned in the video was lied about?
Do you know what he did show?
It proved a point.
Do you know what he did show?
What did he show?
Actual news organizations covering the story without bias.
Yes. My God.
That's the only piece of news that he showed. Anything else? Rumors that have no...
Oh, well, no. Keem never showed... Keem has never put actual news into his thing. He goes off articles that he wants to talk about, and then that's about it. Instead of doing research and actually discussing problems. Actually discussing topics and having fun like we do on here.
Guys, at the end of the day, I understand it, and I understand where people are coming from. I don't even judge you for it. If you think it's fucked up that he did it, that's understandable. But what else was he going to do?
Life's a weapon, good sir. You just have to use it.
Honest to God.
This is the situation that he needed it.
I don't like it any more than other people do, but you know what? I can't be mad at him for it because he exposed what he really was in that situation. He thought of Etika as dollar signs. He didn't think of him as a friend.
No, he never thought of him as a friend. Whether tweets or his own personal perspective.
Whether Etika was actually friends with him or not is completely irrelevant at that point. It's completely irrelevant.
It's one thing. Listen, a true friend, a friend that cares about somebody else, is willing to drop the fucking world if needed to help them.
Yes. And that's what Keem should have done if he was a true friend.
Keem would... You're asking him to be a human being. And that's,
exactly.
That's too much for him.
A decent human being, mind you. But, okay. Gonna continue reading the tweets. I get Juice Wayne. Totally get his point. But I still stand by Ethan because he was fucked with as well. And yes, while it was ultimately to defend him, he also wanted to point out how badly Keemstar has been after the Grade A and Leafy attacks. And the iDubbbz content cop. So, and I'm sorry, Ethan is ultimately right in this situation.
And we agree with him.
It doesn't mean he's completely 100% right, but he's definitely a lot more right than Keem is.
And that's
so I wrote this.
Large margin.
Part 2, two-part response, part 1, Etika tomorrow. So he's making the response immediately. How long did it take him to disprove a lot of the stuff that Grade and Leafy said? Like how long?
He never. Here's the difference with iDubbbz specifically, because I'm going to use him as the example. He never disproved the fucking thing that he said. He tried to.
No, he never. He never disproved anything that iDubbbz said. He even said that he thought it was funny, which is weird. But I think he knew that's all he could do. Now, Grade and Leafy said a lot of false shit and misconstrued stuff, which is understandable, and you could definitely disprove that. But how long did it take for Keem to actually do that? It didn't take him a fucking day.
No.
So
I don't know. You know why he's waiting a day?
With legitimate accusations, I want to know how you think you're going to be able to disprove the facts against you when it comes to the etiquette case.
I really want to.
You're not
reason why he's taking a day is because he's trying so hard to think of some sort of excuse.
He's sitting there on top of his...
The guy retweeted, or tweeted to him. I accidentally retweeted his tweet instead of Keem's tweet, where he was going to do the part 1 was going to be Etika's response tomorrow. The guy said, "You killed him." And while I didn't agree with he was the sole reason, as I already pointed out before, I did say, "Fuck your response. Apologize, you cunt."
He'll never do it. You're expecting him to be weak.
I know.
And according to him, he's an alpha male.
Apparently he doesn't like weak. Yep.
He doesn't like weak, but when he has to become weak.
Nice meme there. Keemstar trying to respond.
Here's something he can do. Here's something that he can do Here's what I would have done in his shoes, okay? Here's what I would have done in his shoes, just as my example, if you don't mind.
Yep.
Why not be the big man of the situation, say you fucked up, apologize for the situation, and give money to the Suicide Prevention Fund?
To do a lot.
That would have been reasonable.
People would still give him shit, and rightfully so, but at least
stop telling every.
How bad is it, by the way? How bad is it, by the way, that Logan Paul, a dude who filmed a body, okay,
In Japan,
he apologized for it the fucking first day that had. He apologized.
He apologized for it the first fucking day. He took a break from YouTube and stopped vlogging almost entirely, almost immediately. Yes. And did shit he wanted to do. How sad is it? A guy he straight up criticized, and I've criticized, was able to change for the better and actually admit what he did wrong. And you couldn't. And by the way, the funny thing about it is, later on, Logan actually had somewhat of an excuse to a degree. I'm not saying he was right still, but he did. It was shown that he lacked something in his brain where he had to learn empathy because of it. Well, you know, mental health makes you weak, right? Mental health makes you weak, right?
Yeah, I'd like to see. You know what? Honestly, can somebody get him in the ring? Can somebody go fucking 3 rounds with him?
Dude,
you only need 3.
Honest to God, I know Deji's probably not a saint in his own right, but I'd love to see Deji just completely annihilate the fucking.
No, because he has to fight somebody. He has to fight somebody in his weight class, and I'll tell you this right now: douchebag doesn't have a weight class.
Not in YouTube boxing, because KSI was like way smaller than Logan when they had their fight. And no,
what I'm trying to say is
as well.
No, what I was trying to say is there's no weight class for douchebag.
Fair point.
There is no weight class for being a douche.
Rod a mirror for people trying to defend Keemstar right now.
They can try, but guess what? He's losing.
I actually do have a defense, and your guys are gonna be very sad when you see it. Although I can see why he would defend him. We will get to him. We will get to him because I do like the guy. I really do. But first, Brody Fox, Yo Mama. Yo Mama, the Yo Mama guy. He said, I think he's friends with that, or was friends with that guy. Yo Mama, YouTube number 2 took a turn. We discovered Keemstar as part of the alt-right movement. This shocked us because no one has covered it. Unfortunately, the Yo Mama channel has to. And here's another clip where he's not being ironic at all.
Nigger, 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 nigger.
Yeah, that's funny.
Can somebody please turn that into an alarm clock for me?
Yeah, that's not funny. I mean, it's funny because it's sad, but otherwise it's just kind of sad. All right, so this guy is full on board, and you know what? I usually don't support cancel culture, but after everything I've kind of mentioned, I do agree that he deserves no more chances. How many chances?
No, fuck that, 15, dude. 16? No, hell no. You don't have the right to fucking listen. He's a human being.
Hold on. Let's play the clip that everybody likes to play here.
If you really think about it, then why live? Just jump off a cliff. If it's just a simulation, who cares?
So, hi there. I'm here to stand against Keemstar with everyone else that has been fed up with his bullying, fed up with the bullying, this 38-year-old dude spreading hateful comments, encouraging thousands of fans, harassing people online, resulting in suicide. Hashtag Let's Stop Keemstar. He is very good at manipulating. That was definitely proven in the H3H3 video, which, by the way, if you have not seen, definitely go check it out. If you
well, you know what? Fuck it. We'll put a link in the description below.
Yeah. Start a movement.
And if it gets taken down because he decides to get some legal action against H3H3,
guess what? Fair use, dick.
Those are your clips. They're online. You put them there. Thank you, sweetheart.
Yep. Hold on. So start a movement. Contact anyone that runs advertisements on his channel and makes them delist Keemstar. Hit him where it hurts his YouTube. So everybody talk to G Fuel, talk to YouTube, talk to any other sponsor.
No. Here's where you hurt him here's where you hit him where it hurts. You DDoS him.
Yeah.
You DDoS.
By the way, this
you
is
go into
nothing
his
against
personal information.
I think G Fuel just needs to know what is actually going on. By the way.
Oh, they probably just sponsored them, and that was about it. They didn't do any research.
Yeah, exactly. So
things happen. I'm not even gonna blame the advertisers on that one because it's like.
So this guy says, speaking to a man in a manic state, claiming he is the Antichrist hours after being released from a mental hospital, who later jumped to his death from a bridge. # sponsored by G Fuel. Yep. And now Leafy.
Can we put it like this?
Leafy created the new Twitter, and he's been taking the piss out of Keem, and Keem can't tell the difference if he's being like fake or real with him. He then says, I think he was real when he said this. No, all this time I thought you were a reliable news source. The good guy. You're not a good guy. You're a very bad guy. Even though he's probably trolling, it's kind of accurate. Okay.
Let's put it like this, and let's make this really simple to understand for those that are saying, no, Keem's a real news source. Keem never went to school for journalism.
Ever.
He never went to school to study journalism. He's never written a paper. He's never written a book. He doesn't understand
I don't know
anything.
If he didn't, I'm sure that's why he doesn't consider himself a news source. But, now here's the disappointing video, although I do understand where Kid Behind the Camera is coming from. We're going to play that clip for you now.
Right now, and not many people defending him, so I want to put out a video just right now, and not many people defending him. So I want to put out a video talking about the person that Keemstar has been in my life, because he is a really good friend to me, and he's been there for me in more ways than I can begin to tell you guys. So I just want to take a second to not talk about all the good stuff that he's done, because he has done a lot of good stuff behind the scenes that a lot of people don't know about. They don't know about the good stuff Keemstar's done because, one, he doesn't talk about it, and two, maybe he doesn't want to ruin the illusion of people thinking that he's an asshole, because that's part of his character.
I will get to that line in a minute, because that was just out of line.
And the gimmick of drama alert. And not many people know how good of a person he actually is. I just want to tell a quick story. Not everything that he's done for me, because he's done a lot, but I want to tell a quick story. When my father passed away, Keemstar called me. He was one of the first people to call me. And he told me that he was sorry that my father passed away, and he was a legend, and if there's anything he could do, let him know. And of course, you're like, oh, I'm fine. Thanks for calling. And I told him that I wasn't going to go to my own father's funeral. I wasn't going to go because I wasn't mentally prepared for that. And Keem kept telling me, Michael, you can't miss your father's funeral. You have to go to it. You're going to regret it for the rest of your life. And this is the kind of guy Keemstar is. To keep me from missing my own father's funeral, he came to it. He wasn't going to come to the funeral. He's a busy man. He does a lot. But he took the first flight out the next morning to Charleston, and he came to the funeral just so I would go. So that's the kind of man that he is. I love Keemstar, and I'll defend him until the bitter cold end. whichever comes first.
Which, again, I appreciate that he's a good friend and that he will defend his friend. I don't even discourage Get Behind the Camera for that. However, this is what I replied with. I respect you for defending your friend. And while I'm not denying the good stuff he's done, Keem has done way too many scummy things outside the good. Or that outweigh the good. And I'm sorry, but not everything is a wrestling angle. That's in response to him playing a character.
Now, I'll say this because it's true. The fact that he even had the gall to say he's never done that to his friends. Are you fucking high? Do I have to pull up the podcast clip?
I'm sure he hasn't done that to him. I'm sure he hasn't done that to him.
Not to him, but there's much evidence that he would come out of nowhere and he would say, listen, you're my friend. If you ever needed something, you could just ask me. It's like, King, that's not the fucking point.
It's not the point.
That's not the point of the argument.
Just because he's been a good friend to you does not mean he was a shit human being to other people in the past.
Listen, I'll admit it right now. I'll admit it right now. I was a fucking bully in middle school. I'll admit it. And I know what I was, and I know I was an asshole for doing it, and I'll keep moving forward, and I've apologized to the kids that I bullied. And I'll fucking admit that, because I'm not scared about what happened to me.
There are times where I fucked up 100 times. I fucked up on this very platform. A lot.
But to sit there and say that you cannot defend an individual that is unredeemable in every single quality. He is unredeemable.
You're right.
Unredeemable.
You're right.
No, he was probably talking shit about his dad's funeral, like, after the funeral.
You don't know. That's another thing.
And if it was such an important moment for Keem, why not just say it? Why not just talk about it? Why not just have a conversation? Why hide that type of person and be an asshole if it's all a gimmick, if it's all something else? I don't believe it.
Yeah.
Because if you listen, I'll say it now. He has a child. We'll go over that later.
Get to that.
He has a kid.
I want to say that for the end. That's going to be the end of the punch.
But just to put it in perspective, he has a kid, and we'll go into that more in depth later.
So, Activision, you're sponsoring racists now. You're co-signing Keemstar? Interesting. So, Activision's not going to be sponsoring him. I guarantee you're going to see a lot of sponsors pull out of his bullshit. Here's a guy that's been on and off with Keem for a very long time, Tommy C. Which, by the way, if you have not checked out a Shot from the Point podcast, if you actually want an opinion show, which is actually an opinion show covering the news, go check it out. It's actually very entertaining. He tweets out, Keem unfollow me, lol. He then says, all right, Keem really convinced Tommy that H3 is a snake, because that's what Keem is really good at doing. But in reality, Keem is the real snake and cares for no one and tries to drag everyone in the mud. He would say, I would not call Ethan a snake. I just have issues with the Etika part of the video. I think it's tasteless, which again, I can't even blame you if you find that. If you do take offense to that, I really can't blame you. I can understand it from that perspective. That's my right. That is agreeing to disagree, not hate. I know that Keem is a snake. I have tons of streams that fell on deaf ears about it. I'm just sick of fighting with him. Which, again, totally understand. And I believe that's all the tweets that I've had. I have also did replies. Pretty sure I just need to find them. So I'm going on tweets and replies to see if I actually replied to anybody. Yep, no. But I did do tweets. I just don't know where it is. Okay. So yeah. So the sad part about the YouTube feud between H3 and Keemstar is that a tragic story of Etika is ultimately being weaponized to expose the shady behavior of some YouTuber. While it is good to call out disrespectful acts, it is painful to see Etika's legacy be tainted and used. I replied with this to defend H3. While I understand your point, it's good H3 came out with this truth. That Keem was using his mental illness to gain views and was contributing and was a contributing factor to him jumping off the bridge. Etika was beloved by so many and gone way too soon, and people are still pained with his death to this day. It's one of the worst tragedies on the platform, and it hit home for a lot of people, myself included. And Keemstar didn't give a single fuck about him like he claimed. And I didn't screen share that. I actually read that out. I realized I didn't have, but that's the tweet. So there you go. The tweet is said. And now this guy. So again, I talked about the Digi thing with the whole him possibly sub-botting, which again nobody has any clue on who's right or who's wrong. And honestly, at this point, I'd leave it up to the fucking courts. But you know, Company exposed Deji for botting subs to hit 10 mil. Keemstar reported on it and disproves lies. Now it's his fault for Deji hurting himself. Man, fuck out of here. The internet is so different. I replied with, that's not the point. Even if Deji is botting subs is true, no one will believe it because he covers up the shit he's actually done wrong, then lies about it. That sound about right to you guys?
No, it's fair. Honestly, that's a fair statement.
Yep.
The one thing
I think there's a few more. I think there's a few more. I could be wrong, but I want to make sure I didn't.
I think we have enough. I think we should try to start getting into the video because no matter how much shit is on Twitter,
I wanted to point out that it's what both sides of the argument, what both sides of the arguments are. So at the end of the day, I'm gonna let everybody know that if there's any defenders of Keemstar, I'm dead ass. Don't watch this video. Leave a dislike if you want. Leave a hate comment. I don't give a fuck. Unsub right now. Unsub. I don't want you on my channel. And that is my personal preference. I don't want anybody that's defending him or his shitty actions on my channel. While I respectfully agree to disagree with you, I do not have to have it on my fucking platform. Period. Nikos, if you would, please go over the cliff notes of H3's video.
So, basically, what I've been finding interesting on H3's video was, again, most of the stuff we talked about it, but the real main important one is he tends to bring internet beef into reality, especially with the doxing, where he is endangering children and innocent people of allowing the SWAT team to break into innocent people's homes, and he had the gall of interviewing a murderer, quote-unquote murderer, who called and started...
There's no quote-unquote about it. It has been proved that he's the one who doxed him. He's not the murderer, per se. He didn't murder him. The cop
But he got him swatted.
He's the one that called the SWAT for it to happen.
So he blames him for his actions, but the fact is, Keemstar doesn't really own up to the fact that he, too, brings up people's information just so he could dox them.
And to him, this
What
is
type of
just
human being
and this is another point you missed on that. To him, it was just silly internet beef that got out of control.
Yeah, silly internet beef
brought him on.
doesn't have the fucking police come to your house.
Dude, they were actively trying to hunt him down, the police. People understand that?
You know how deep he is in fucking YouTube and G Fuel's pockets? I just want one day this man to see justice.
Yeah.
Because he has to realize the shit he's doing is wrong. And it's not just with Etika, where he's been exploiting suicide and shit. There's also a YouTuber, or I don't know if he's a YouTuber, his name is Basher, who nearly committed suicide on Twitter. And again,
here's what ended up happening. He was an idiot as a kid, and I know plenty of people that have done this. I think the girl was 16, he was 19 at the time. So it was wrong that he was dating her. And he, I believe, was in a juvenile detention center, had to serve, I think, he had to serve community service, I'm pretty sure, in order to get the charge dropped. The charge has been dropped. The charge was dropped. He was not classified as a pedo. He was not classified as any of that. But because Keem covered it, he thought it was a recent thing, and it wasn't a recent thing, and completely ruined Basher's psyche. He completely destroyed his credibility, and just destroyed him. to the point where he even got his own girlfriend to pretty much just be done with him. It's a fucked up situation. That's like the Cliff Notes version of it. If you want to see a full video, I'll find one and I'll link it in the description. It's actually a really depressing story on Basherverse, and I just hope he's doing well. I hope he's getting the help he needs, because Lord knows you would need it after going through some bullshit like that.
Well, here's the whole thing with that. Basherverse gave up in 2017.
Yeah, he's not.
April 24th, 2017, he gave up. And then he had people start making fake accounts. He was hacked. 2018 and 2019, he's finally back. But he quit YouTube for 2 years.
Oh, so he is still doing YouTube?
He is. He got his old Twitter back, and he's under the new name Toasty.
Oh, that's Toasty. Okay, that fair enough. Okay, you know what? For everybody that wanted to support him for real, I'm sure he's trying to just start new and get rid of Basherverse. Subscribe to Toasty in the description.
So just to get the story absolutely 100% correct as best as I can to correct myself, he was charged with a Class A misdemeanor of, a minor, soliciting contact with a minor, I believe it's called. The video by a gamer from Mars will explain that a lot better than I could, but it is in the description. It does go over the full details. I want to point out he did serve the community service, and they took away his computers and all that for I think a year, and then it was over. Again, not saying what he did wasn't wrong, and I think he even admitted that, Basherverse himself. But it still comes down to the fact that Keem relentlessly bullied him for this and gave him shit for it. So my point still stands. Alright, here we go. I'm reacting to this video really quick. This is part of the Gamer from Mars's documentary of the Brandon Asher story.
This support, I've got all these people.
Exactly! His depression and anxiety disorders. Brandon also went on several Twitter rants over the following months, lamenting the loss of the people he once considered to be his friends who had turned on him, and how he felt he would never be able to clear his name of the accusations of pedophilia. Despite getting further and further from the original controversy and new developments constantly coming up in his favor, Basher still seemed to be convinced that his life and career were destroyed beyond repair.
What has happened in the last couple days? Because you were happy. You had all this support. I don't get it.
Because what changed? I thought I could figure it out. I've got all this support. I've got all these people.
Exactly.
Dude, support does not give me ideas. Support does not give me content. Support does not sit me down in front of a computer and put the game in front of me or put the vlog in front of me.
I have a crazy idea. How about you just live stream, all right, and just talk to your fans. Just talk to them.
This all culminated in November of that same year when Basher tweeted that he planned to check himself into a mental health facility. Keemstar reached out to confirm the legitimacy of the statement, to which Basher responded angrily, blaming Keem for his destroyed reputation.
And I must point out, as I have watched all the way up to this point, okay, he has every right to blame him because it is fucking true and accurate. I don't care how much he has fixed it since, which I'll admit, after watching this video, I've seen Keem at least try to make right. But it does not change the fact that he did the initial action and fucked his entire life and career up.
Which was a strange jab considering how much work Keem had done since originally breaking the story to paint Basher in a positive light.
To that point, it doesn't matter. That negativity will never go away. You don't believe me? Ask the fucking old guy Tony, who also got accused of pedophilia. I understand your point, gamer. I get it. It still does not make it any more legitimate, that fucking claim that Keemstar ruined his career, because he did. despite this, your documentary is very good, and I encourage everybody to check this video out. It's gonna be in the description. I'm gonna subscribe to it now. You also do the same. He actually does make very good content. I've watched some of his videos before. Last bit about this is there are other accusations that have not been able to be proven by another YouTuber. He was a smaller YouTuber trying to expose him for being a pedophile and talk to multiple different girls that were underage. Bachelors, I'm saying. So now this is this guy's response, because this case is a very messy one, right? But this is this guy's response, the gamer from Mars's response, as he goes over this detail of the story.
And the accusation that we now know probably isn't true about the 13-year-old girl being raped twice by him, it seems to always go back to Jobless Garrett being the one making that claim. Right. Do you know anything behind the scenes of if he actually was told that by the police or if it was made up?
I have talked to him in real life, like at a face party about a year ago, and I confronted him about this, and he to this day still says that is what the police told him. And there's really no way to find out how old this girl is or was, but you know, if he was arrested for it, I don't think she was like, you know, 16, 17. Yeah. She would have to be like someone young enough for the police to even get involved like that, you know.
Despite Mr. Sif's story about Basher sending sexually suggestive messages to multiple underage girls, along with him previously being convicted of that same crime a decade prior, we have absolutely no proof that he ever made physical contact with them. So it's unclear why someone would come up with that story. Nevertheless, things quickly spiraled out of control from there.
So now, as it was going on, so he was accused of sending sexual messages to underage girls. Supposedly there are receipts, but from what he said, there's no way to prove that it was him. Entirely 100%. Nor is there a 100% way to prove that he had any sexual contact with them, period. That is what the gamer from Mars said, that there was no proof. There could not be proof. There was no way to disprove it nor prove it. That's way more than I could say for Keemstar, who straight up in the first freaking time said, oh, this is entirely what happened, even though he found out later that was bullshit.
Listen, what happened to him happened years ago. It's a different story. And I know somebody's going to sit there and say, well, you're bringing up shit that happened to Keem 4 years ago. Yes, but here's the difference.
He hasn't changed since.
Fucking, the man got rid of every single thing on his... Basher originally got rid of every single thing that was on his channel. He wiped himself completely clean and started again new. And I give the man credit for that because it takes a lot of balls to do that. That's not you do this in an afternoon. That's getting rid of your entire internet
history.
Cutting 3 years of content from your channel, because I believe he started in 2014.
Right. Continue, Nikos, if you could.
There was also false accusations to YouTuber Just Destiny, who made the mistake of creating that thumbnail and then getting attacked.
Now, to give context to the situation, he did not know the girls were underage in his thumbnail. That was the problem, I believe. Now,
but assuming just blatantly accusing pedophilia like that,
I believe, and he got the thumbnail. I want to point out that he got thumbnails. He was not trying to do the over-sexualized thing. He was accused of that. What happened was he was doing. He was reviewing TikTokers, I believe. The TikTokers, were over-sexualizing themselves, and they're like fucking way too young to be doing this kind of shit. And it's people that have criticized it for years. Now he's made a thumbnail using those thumbnails. I believe that's the situation. Just Destiny used those thumbnails of the girls that were over-sexualizing themselves, but not to highlight that it was okay to perv on them. He was doing it because it was a critique video on why is this happening on TikTok. Now, you can argue for sure that maybe the ethics were a bit out of line and he shouldn't have done that, but the way Keem went about it was, do you touch kids? He didn't ask, don't you think it's morally wrong that you're using the thumbnail of the kids? He just straight up went to, do you touch kids if you're doing this kind of shit? Which is fucked beyond belief.
He just assumes,
but it's not
you're a pedophile.
Him to do that.
No, it's not outline of him to do that, but it doesn't mean it's any less outlandish.
Oh, agreed. But what I mean,
Nikos will probably get to this point, not only because he was criticized of doing that by his own friends included, by the way. Keem's own friends called him out on that bullshit. What did he do to retaliate against Just Destiny, Nikos?
I can't remember right off the top of my head.
Swatted him. He swatted him.
Oh.
He's the guy.
Well, no, he didn't personally swat him. He fucking had his fan base do it because he's a coward.
Yeah, right.
Instead of
So what he did was he doxed him. He DDoSed,
which is illegal, by the way.
Yep,
that's fucking illegal.
It was on stream,
which is also illegal.
Doxed him.
He got his personal information, and he had the audacity to bring up his wife's phone number because to Keem, that's funny.
Listen, you can listen. If you have a problem with somebody, you go to the person. Correct? That's how we learned as kids. If you have a problem with somebody, go to the person about that situation.
Right.
You don't ever fucking bring somebody's family into a situation
they had nothing to do with it
because you're a petty little fucking gnome.
Yep, that's what it is. That's what it is at the end of the day.
Because guess what? His wife left him.
He did what he did, basically, because he was wrong and he knew he was wrong for calling him basically a pedophile without saying the word, and then decided to DDoS him. What the fuck? How is this okay? How is this okay behavior? Not on YouTube. Not just on YouTube. Fuck YouTube for a minute. Okay? When you DDoS someone, that's real life. That's it.
You are literally allowing the SWAT team to destroy everything you own. Your door, your electronics, everything.
Now, you can contact the police if you expect that these situations are about to happen, and they have to.
And they did, and I believe they did, and even the cops are like, "No, we got it. Don't worry, we're
no, we understand because it's not the first time that this has happened to you because of the fact that YouTube is full of fucking little pussies that have to hide behind keyboards in order to get situations done and over with."
Which, by the way, that's a whole another topic I want to do on the Indy Force at some point, where the comment section. Mainly due to people like Keem, not just Keem, but people like Keem, and how they have these mob mentality bullshit. It's just some of the most toxic fucking fan bases on the goddamn planet. Honest to God.
I'm shocked about that, though.
Cancer on the comment section. It is cancer on Twitter. It's cancer everywhere. It's so bad. It is so fucking bad. Fuck. Anyway, continue, Nikos.
And he just brags about these types of doxing. Like he literally in some interviews he really doesn't care that he's been doxing all these people because he's never been doxing in his life. But hey, dude, eventually your time will come.
It already happened. Actually, it already happened. I had the decency not to retweet it, but he has been doxed.
That's
good. I'm not gonna reveal his information, but he was doxed. And recently, as of the last 2 hours, he was doxed.
Yep.
Was there anything of importance destroyed?
Oh no! Here's the difference. Here's how a dox works.
I assume it could happen soon. I don't know.
Listen, here's what the dox. Here's what the dox is primarily about.
I will say this: I do not support that. I don't think that's right. Don't do it.
But we here on the Indy Force we believe an eye for an eye is absolutely okay.
He reads what he says because he's done it to other people in the past.
Exactly.
So while I don't condone it, I don't blame people for doing it.
You poked the fucking super bear. That's what happened. That's what Keem did. He poked the fucking bear, and now he's gonna feel it.
Any more cliff notes, Nikos, on this video that H3 put out?
cares more about the attention and views than welfare of the people around him, calls people his friends even though he doesn't know them fully, running away from responsibilities, uses fake evidence for news alerts, and finally fuels on rumors and uses them as facts even though they're not.
Wait a minute, wasn't Leafy his friend?
Yeah.
I thought they were friends. What happened to that?
I don't care.
The dynamic duo of YouTube.
No, let's not even get into that because.
Oh, I know. I'm just putting it out there that a lot of his friends later hate him as a person. Let's let that be known.
As they fucking should. As they fucking should. So I think the one thing that you also need to put in, while everything else was definitely valid, the whole reason the video was made, right? H3H3 made the video because he was accused that his
felony fraud from
he was doing fraud. He was doing fraud.
That I have included in there.
Yeah. So if you want, you can read those cliff notes.
Also uses of harassment, felony fraud for Ethan, who he contacted the development team. I don't know if it was for Payday 2 or some other.
It was Starbreeze, the developers of Payday 2. We contacted the company owner to talk to them about to talk to him about the situation,
right?
And if it was considered illegal, which it isn't, because
they were the ones who initiated the check.
Yes, because Keemstar's a fucking
there was no fraud included, and he DM'd him about the fraud, telling him, so I'm doing a video about some whiny man baby accusing of fraud. So tell me, were you part of any fraud, or did you commit fraud under a different name?
Well, he did leak DMs where he actually did buy CS:GO skins on an illegal gambling site. Bank.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, so James, really quick, how expensive can most CS:GO skins be when it comes to IRL money?
Right.
Because they're fucking expensive. Like IRL, they are. The CS:GO community, when it comes to how much cash is in there, the economy is fucking ridiculous.
Yep.
We're talking about some of the rarest shit ever, and that's how the CS:GO, like, you can make real money with CS:GO skins, like some serious fucking cash.
Now, Ethan is not perfect by any means, and I'm sure he's made some mistakes. And I believe one of the cases I'm sure Keem's going to bring up is when he was going into a copyright claim lawsuit or whatever, where his content was getting flagged unjustly because he criticized, people or whatever.
Which we as human beings have the right to do.
And
criticize anybody.
He had a Patreon, or somebody made a fundraiser, and they said they were going to use the money for future cases like that in the future. The money has since been, I think, the money was extracted out of the account, and people are thinking that he used it for other means. But here's the difference. Think. It has not been proven. It has not been said. Keemstar says it's fact. Because if it's Keemstar that says it, well, it must be fucking true.
Even though they're not.
Because it has been proven that the money is still there, or if the money was used for any other funds, period.
But
here's to say he wasn't using money for other freaking cases that he was fighting that were copyright claimed as well.
Well, here's the whole thing. That's his money.
They gave it to him.
He is voice acted in Payday 2. He is paid voice acting.
No, this isn't about Payday 2. This was about when he was going into that court case. With he had to go into a court case because he was accused of stealing content, even though he was using it under fair use.
Yes.
So
yes, I know.
That's the one I'm talking about. That's the thing I'm talking about. So he's saying that the money was extracted out of the account, and he's not using it for what he said it was going to be for, which was YouTube creators having content beefs with the law or whatever. Even though it has not been proven that he's been using the money for any other reason. It's just shown that he extracted the money out of the account, but we've never known if he has done what he said or not. I just want to
I'm
point
just
that
gonna
out there.
this-
There was no facts to Keemstar's claim that he was using that as fraud as well, which I'm sure he's going to bring up in his
Nico's your question.
video.
I just want to ask: has Keemstar ever done anything for his fans other than spewing them this fake bullshit? Like, has he ever done?
Yeah,
some
no,
sort
he's done
of
stuff.
fundraiser or
No, he's absolutely done stuff.
He showed up at conventions, signed autographs. When it comes to actual good stuff besides all that,
He's done it. No, he's actually done good stuff. He did help a guy, I think, with his van or SUV or something. Like, he paid like money to the guy, and he was able to get a new car or something like that. It was like a whole story that Keem did where it was actually a very good deed. I'm not saying Keem doesn't have his moments, but when you have so much,
but a broken clock is right twice a day.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like the shit outweighs the good. I'm sorry. When you have that much on you, it needs to be said. You cannot just find the good stuff he's done and just say he's a good person because he's done A, B, and C. Meanwhile, he has done D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. I'm sorry, you cannot defend this guy. If you do, in some cases I understand it, but I respectfully ask, just get off my fucking channel, because I will not defend him. I cannot defend him. And you know what? When I started this video, I thought I was going to be angry towards the end. I thought I was going to be screaming.
Oh, we're going to get there.
No,
I screamed in the beginning. But honestly, I'm just kind of sad.
You're disappointed.
I'm disappointed. It's just very upsetting, if that makes sense. It's depressing, actually. It really is. That's the right word for it. It's depressing. And I don't care how much shit this is going to get from me, but I mean it. And everybody here means it. We all share the same opinion. And again, it's our opinion. I only imagine what Mia Keem thinks of her dad when she gets older and knows the shady shit he's done. Because if I were her, I'd disown the fucking prick when I turn 18.
I would not only just disown him if I was in her shoes and saw what my father is on the internet, even if he was to say, oh, it's a character. Yeah, but...
It's not a character. And
what about all this other shit, Dad?
It is not a character. When you blend in and DDoS people, that is not a character, that is you.
That's you. That's you as a human being. Whether you want to fucking deny it or not.
Are the same person. There is no separation of the two.
Now, whether he wants to deny it or not, nobody told him, hey, you know what you should do for this video? You should go do this thing. Yeah. This shitty fucking thing that you're doing. Nobody told him to do that. Nobody ever told him to fucking do half the shit that he does. Nobody.
By the way, I mean every word I said. If people think that that's out of line, you know what? Hey, guess what? She doesn't feel too good on the other foot, does it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. By the way, we did.
Me criticizing his family, yet he was criticizing somebody else's family. In fact, multiple people's families, 100 times over the past. Is it right? Probably not. But it doesn't feel too good when someone else does it.
Does it, you fucking asshole? It's not great, does it?
It's
not great.
God,
it's not great when the
internet. His daughter's gonna be fucked. His daughter's gonna be fucked up in the head.
Oh, she's gonna be somebody's little nightmare.
Yeah.
She's gonna become a little nightmare. With how he fucking acts, oh, you can only guess. With the way that he personifies himself online.
Well, it's not even just that. Like, I'm thinking, I genuinely thought of this, and I'm not saying people need to. I don't even think people should go and call DCF or anything, because honestly, I think that would actually probably be worse. There are worse people out there than Daniel Keem. But so when he did what he did, and he does the stuff that he does to other people, I can only imagine what that'd be like for her. in the household, and I hate to even bring that up, but this is an opinion. He straight up said on Twitter, it's not mental health, you're weak, right? And there's a whole thing. Like, I'll put the tweet up here from Ethan's video.
What if she got
I gotta
bullied
put
in
that up
school?
there because that's a huge thing, and I bring this up for a reason. I only imagine if any time his daughter Mia felt depressed, is that his response?
Oh, like, don't worry about it.
You know what I mean? That's what I think infuriates me more than anything else. That shows you what he thought of the Etika situation. That shows you what he thought about Basherverse. That showed you what he thought about the guy that got shot when the guy freaking swatted him and called the cops on him. Like, is that how he thinks that the world is supposed to work? That mental health doesn't exist?
It does. I'm sorry, but
if that's what you
don't get to listen. You don't get to look.
You don't deserve a YouTube channel. You prick.
Exactly.
You don't deserve a YouTube channel from a guy who actually has dealt with mental health. I'll tell you right now, you don't deserve a YouTube channel if that's what you think.
But, I mean,
really don't. You don't deserve anything you have if that's genuinely what you think. That's what aggravates the hell out of me. That's what makes me very unirrational when I rant here, and I'm trying so hard not to scream, but that pisses me off. I dealt with a mental anxiety. I had panic attacks as this whole COVID shit was going down, and literally the thing that helped me was anxiety medication. And you're telling me that shit doesn't exist? That it's just a fucking ploy? Honest to God, is that what you think,
James? Do you mind if I?
Do
you mind if I? Do you mind if I?
Fucking shit.
Do you mind if I, good sir, for just a second, because it's some hypocritical shit that is in there.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. What was his solution specifically? And this is the question. What was his solution for YouTube? What was his solution to solve anxiety and panic attacks? Alcoholism.
Wait, are you serious?
You not see that?
He said, I actually wrote it on one of my notes. If you have a problem or if you have mental illness, here's some advice. Take a sip of beer. Take 3 sips.
And it will all go away. Now, what if, and I have to put this in perspective because I hope that tweet stays up because of how fucking stupid of a human being
I guarantee you he'll take it down at some point.
Oh, he probably will, but it's up on the internet now, so it's going to be there forever, whether you try to delete it or not. It's in a video on YouTube with your face on the cover.
Infuriates the shit out of me. You have no idea.
Now, as an individual who has had alcoholism be a part of his family for 3 generations, and knows what it looks like to see somebody you care about become a blubbering mess.
I know friends of mine, and I won't name.
That means that to Killer fucking Keemstar, the person that is having a bad year, a terrible fucking year, the worst year they've ever had, to him, they are weak individuals. I feel like I'm talking to a fucking Dark Lord of the Sith. Half the time when I read half that shit, I'm like, what kind of psychotic human being thinks this? And goes, that would be a good piece of content on my fucking YouTube channel for children, because his audience are kids.
Do
you not see the problem with that message?
I do. Of course I do. Now here, let me get in this, right? The general argument of loved ones, there's a way to say it's weak without being an asshole. Because I will admit, I was weak in my moment of panic. I admit that. However, I was weak because I didn't think of the bigger picture. That doesn't mean anything that I felt was any less valid for why I had those fucking panic attacks. that doesn't mean that anything that Etika was going through when he was having his bipolar, when he ultimately decided, I gotta be done. He may have been weak in the ultimate end, but it does not excuse the fact that there was legitimate feelings of dread and sorrow that he felt in that moment. And for you to go and just say it's straight up weak and it should not be excused and it's just bullshit for pharmaceutical companies to get money makes you the scum of the fucking earth. Do you understand me?
So, just to put it in perspective to the parents that are at home or the people that are attempting to have
Monitor
children.
what your kids watch, first off.
First off, obviously. But second, if you ask your son a question, what did your son and or daughter, what did you learn today on YouTube, kiddo? Well, I learned from Keemstar that if I have anxiety attacks, which I was born with, let's put that in perspective if the child was born with it,
yep,
that I'm weak, and I should go straight to getting fucked up on alcohol to solve my problems.
It's fucked, man.
I'm not going to sit there and say that, I'll give an example. We know somebody, not going to name names, who is a stressed individual who smokes weed. And why does he smoke weed? Because that's what he wants to do. And we may not 100% agree on the factor a lot of the time, but if that's something that helps him / her, then it's fine. That's absolutely fair. You're an adult. Do whatever the fuck you want. But if you're 16, 17, no, you don't get to do whatever the fuck you want. You're an idiot for even thinking that.
Right.
It's a simplistic... trying to put this in a way that makes sense. It's simple-minded nonsense like this that is making life harder for kids today.
For just people with mental disabilities.
It's not fun. Do you think it's fun for the kid that is mentally fucked to wake up every day and go, yeah, you know what's awesome? I love going on my YouTube channel, going on YouTube and being told that I am a weak, pathetic piece of shit and that I should just end myself.
Dude, I can tell you from firsthand experience that doesn't feel good at all.
It's fucked.
It's terrible.
If you want to know what Keem should be doing right now, with all the information that's out there right now, Keemstar should, as a human being with a child, make a PSA, have a discussion, retract his fucking statements.
Do what Logan did, actually.
Retract
everything you mentioned, Logan Paul did.
Retract your fucking statements. Because guess what? Because guess what? Let's say it was your kid. Let's fucking put this in perspective.
Right.
What if it's your kid? What if it was your kid? What if your kid, because of your fucking YouTube career, got bullied every single day at school by the teachers, by the parents, by everybody? And when your kid was having a tough day, a terrible fucking day, a day that they will never forget, she will ever forget, what if she decided to go up on Twitter, go up on one of your videos to maybe find a way to cheer herself up, and she's being told by her own father that she's fucking weak.
And that she should drink
because
alcohol.
Depression doesn't exist.
You should get fucked up on alcohol to make yourself feel better. Now, I don't know anything about your kid, nor do I care. I want that to be known. I don't care. That's your child, not mine.
Fully. That's why we mentioned this. Honestly,
I'm just saying.
Only imagine what
I don't care what she's like. I care more of the factor of you as a parent. As a parent,
yep.
I'm not a parent, nor do I wish to be one. But you as a parent have a responsibility to protect your child through everything. And try to help them make right choices.
I've had parents. I've been very fortunate to have those kind of parents. I actually technically have 3 that support me, that push me to do the best that I can be, that helped me through my darkest, toughest moments.
Second.
Okay? Not a lot of people have that. But I've never seen one person show that they're not willing. Like, and the worst part is, if you don't treat your kid like that, and you really are just separating in a fucked up way Keemstar the character and Daniel Keem, and Daniel Keem does care for his daughter and does help her with those problems and says, you know what, and if she does have a mental disorder, actually get her the medication that she needs to help her.
You're a hypocrite.
Why? That's another thing. Why are you being a hypocrite and saying that mental health doesn't exist on Twitter, on YouTube?
Because of views? Because you want to have this personality on this platform to be an asshole?
That's his goal, to earn views, to have some
Why?
sort of cult following.
Listen,
you know what?
He has no one else.
We care. We're doing this type of podcast right now because we give a general shit about human beings.
Know, I don't, and the funny thing is, we didn't want to do this. We had to. I genuinely feel gross talking about this.
Dude, I had to pause that video 4 times, as I said off podcast.
I hate
actually
it
didn't
so
want to do this. I
much,
could have just jumped in the shower.
Like,
bro,
it's disgusting. It is like watching a 600-pound man eat a cheesecake. It's just disgusting. It makes you feel bad. It makes you not want to watch it anymore. It's just disheartening. That's what it is. It's not disconcerting. It's just disheartening.
It really is.
To see a gentleman here on this platform who pretends, or at least is attempting to pretend.
And notice, too, it's like...
Cares.
And I realize this, too, to be honest. Anytime... Anything Keem's associated with, it feels like, in a positive light, because of this negative stuff he does.
It's overshadowed.
It's overshadowed, and that sucks, because you know what? Like, I remember you guys have shit on KSI, and I partly I think it's because he's associated with Keem in a way, and
I just don't care about his content.
With the events that, and I want to point this out, with the events that he's run, and I bring KSI up because for all the faults he's had, he's actually admitted a lot of the faults. He's actually admitted he's not perfect. He actually admits he's trying to get better every single day. And the good that he's done, is the amount of charity that him and the Sidemen have raised, like on all 3 football charity matches. That's a feat that no YouTuber... I never thought YouTube would reach a feat like that. KSI and Logan Paul and KSI and Joe Weller and all the boxing matches that YouTube had, I never thought they'd get that popular. I never thought that YouTube would have something like that. And then you want to know the sad part is, as sad as the beef was between Joe Weller and KSI actually went on Joe Weller's podcast. And talked it out and had a heart-to-heart with the guy. That is more than I can say for Daniel fucking Keem.
Daniel Keem has only done one charity. And that was Stop the Fire, which was the whole big media, let's put that in perspective, big media thing of the fires happening in Australia.
Right.
I'm not trying to look for fucking examples of him being a scumbag and using what's popular at the moment to get his.
He doesn't help his case. That's the
really
problem.
Doesn't. It really doesn't.
This is why I stress. This is why I stress. It's an opinion. All this is an opinion. It's not fact. A lot of we cover facts. We develop our own opinions on that. Okay. But it really is that disheartening when you see a guy like that with any kind of influence.
I want to end this. I want to end this the way that this whole thing started, if you don't mind.
Go for it.
Something that really wasn't talked about fully on the video.
Go for it.
H3H3. Total Biscuit, the YouTuber Total Biscuit, was diagnosed with terminal cancer.
Oh,
right. Yep.
This motherfucker decided to say these words, and I'm not taking it out of context.
Well, no, okay.
And not trying to cut the line. I'm quoting him directly. I can't wait to report his death. Ha ha.
I do want to preface this by saying there is a little context to this.
Yes, there is context, but I just want to give
started the beef. I want to point that out there. Keem started the beef with Total Biscuit.
Yes. Who is John Peter Bain. Just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, I'll put a link in that in the description.
Yes.
And Keem did say, I guess he was claimed that Total Biscuit, like he was going to say something, that he was going to report his death. And Keem was like making a joke, like, I would not be like, hey, can't wait to report your death or something like that. And I don't know the full, it's been way too long, but I don't think he was actually waiting to report his death. I do not think that. And
let me put this in perspective.
I will at least say that it was not the context. That was not the context he was trying to drive out there.
Let me put this in perspective.
That being said, hold on. Let me finish. It doesn't look good when you having a beef with a guy, and then that's what you say in any context of the situation.
Now, Keem said that in 2016.
Right.
Total Biscuit got cancer, or got his first thing of full bowel cancer, in 2014. He was already battling it for 2 years by the time he said that comment. To continue that, Total Biscuit then passed away 2 years later.
Right.
And Keem did cover it on his channel.
Is it monetized?
I believe it is. I'm not 100% sure.
Now here's another question. Is the money being donated from that specific video to charity for cancer of any kind?
James, as I told you, the only thing that he's ever publicly said that he's donated for was for the Australian fire, and that's the only one recorded for him.
But otherwise he hasn't. Yeah.
He has never.
I guess Total Biscuit was right in the end, right?
Yeah. Total Biscuit was right at the end of the day. The man died May 24th, 2018.
On my fucking birthday too.
He died. He fell into a coma, and then he eventually did die. Blizzard immortalized him.
As they showed up
in World of Warcraft. But it is still the simplistic factor that he did go on H3's podcast. He talked about the whole thing, and H3 was very fucking polite with the situation. I've seen the full video. But let's put this in perspective. A year later, so he reported it in 2014. He had his thing in 2016 with Keem. A year prior, he did attempt to try many different things, but shit happens. In 2015, 2016, his cancer mutated. Then a year after, so right by the time that Keem posted that video and having his beef with Total Biscuit, a year later, he went on H3's podcast in October and said that his condition was stable. Not even a month later, he tweeted that his chemotherapy stopped working. In the mid-April of 2018, Total Biscuit was hospitalized for extreme back pain. It turns out that the cancer grew substantially and was applying pressure to his spinal column. On May 24th, 2018, he would eventually go into a coma and then eventually pass away.
Rest in peace.
And
I'm just gonna check his channel because you're able to fucking do that. I'm going to check his channel, and I want to see the last time he talked about the gentleman. Now, I know that I don't watch Keem's channel, and I don't care about Keem's channel because I don't care about him as an individual. But I'm going to go onto his thing.
Well, we do care for the shitty shit he's done. Preface that.
As an individual, I don't care about him.
Yeah, because, yeah.
Now, he did apologize for making the death threat from 4 years ago. 4 years ago. But it is one of those things where Keem has only admitted twice
and he was wrong.
When he was wrong. And the only reason why this whole thing started was because Total Biscuit blocked him 4 years ago. So this gentleman who passed away 2 years ago had to deal with Keemstar. And had to deal with an individual who has, in perspective, called a 62-year-old man a pedophile, or sorry, 64-year-old man now, a pedophile, has started an entire war with a man who had cancer.
Started a war with a dude who who may have done inappropriate thumbnail.
Completely illegally doxed a man.
Multiple people, not just a man. Multiple people.
Multiple people.
He has had people swatted. He has DDoSed people. He has DDoSed people. And he's done it live on stream in front of everybody. So
I know he's covering the story on Deji, but Deji botting subs doesn't seem that bad compared to all that shit, huh?
And he covered the entire story of Total Biscuit's cancer the entire time.
Yeah.
Instead of
course he did.
Leaving the man the fuck alone.
Which is the reason he blocked him in the first place, by the way.
To have peace with his wife and child. Instead, this is what we're going to do instead. So, to Killer Keemstar, DJ Keem, to fucking Daniel M. Keem, as a YouTuber, I would hopefully, if you have enough respect for yourself, which isn't likely, do us all a favor and just get off this fucking platform. Please.
Terminate your channel. Fuck off. Change
You're
yourself.
not. You are. Yep. The reason why you are called Drama Alert is because every single time I have ever clicked on one of your videos, and that's not that many, you have always been the reason for the fucking drama.
I'm tired of it, man.
You are hated more than any other YouTuber on this platform.
I defended you. I want to point that out. I defended you. I showed in the beginning of this fucking video. I deleted that defense video of you. I also deleted the baited custom intro I did, which was very, very good. Probably one of my best works, radio intro-wise ever. And I could not keep it on my channel.
Doesn't talk to him anymore.
Colossal still does, sadly. I think he does. I don't know if he is now that all this stuff has come out, but they run a podcast together with FaZe Banks called Mom's Basement and shit. Which sounds funny in context considering what we're talking about, but it would be a great podcast in theory if Keem wasn't on it, honestly, because he was stirring the pot with KSI when JJ was on, and with the whole beef between him and his brother, and
because it's easy to be an asshole. It's hard to be a genuine human being, and he could prove me wrong. Is it
though? Is it?
I mean, personally, I don't know Daniel Keem, the individual, because I don't care.
No, well, you've already seen Daniel Keem.
You've already seen Daniel Keem. That's the problem, and I've made that point. It's hard to separate the fucking character from the person. It really is.
And if it is a character, my God, you're an asshole. Like, to even come up with that.
Dude, I don't even like the character. It's just not a good character. And as I said, the minute he brought DDoSing involved, and he got DDoSing to work as a part of his character. That's not. I'm sorry, legally that's Daniel Keem, not Keemstar. You could tell me whatever the fuck you want to tell me, but if he's exposing people's information, that is Daniel Keem.
Like, I would love to hear tomorrow that Keemstar has been kicked from YouTube by
it will never happen
by the website runners because of the simple fact
it will never happen. It will never happen.
It won't happen. Would I love to hear it? Absolutely. I think it would be an incredible win for the little guy on this behalf, for the simple fact that he has stirred up so much shit. It's not even funny.
Dude, I don't even care. I don't even care about the amount of views this gets. I really don't. And I'm sure
because let's state that first. Let's state that as a big thing. We are not monetized on this channel, nor would we want to be. We are here for entertainment of ourselves and the entertainment of the people that want to watch these videos. If you found this entertaining, we hope you did. More than anything else, we really hope you find us entertaining enough.
Entertaining, that's fine. I sure as hell didn't.
No, we did not find this. This subject right here was not for entertainment. This needed to be talked about. And I wouldn't say at more length because the video was already 45 minutes long, where it originally comes from. But it's good to get more perspective on what happened.
And on what H3's covered. Now, I don't think people realize how much he's hurt this community.
Yes, the Etika situation is one of those things that it happened, and there's not much that could have been done. But with the situation with Total Biscuit, the one that hurts the most, the one that wasn't talked about, the fucking big one, because he attempted to ruin a dying man's life. Let's put that in perspective. He attempted to ruin a dying man's life.
All because he blocked him on Twitter. That's what it feels like. It's so
Which is like, Keem, go fuck yourself. It's petty. It's pathetic. Listen, not everybody in the world has to like you. And that's absolutely understandable.
I have plenty of people that hate me.
It's fine. You don't have to be friends with every single person in the world, but the people that are your friends, right now, I would say, who? Because I wouldn't want to be associated with him.
And as I said, I respect the people that stand by your side. That they must have a lot of patience.
They must be able to find some type of good.
If they leave your side,
then you
at that point. You asked for it, and you probably should look at yourself in the mirror, dude.
I would be shocked if he doesn't, if somebody doesn't say, hey, so Keem's sub count drops in the next couple hours, maybe even more. I don't know, depending on how popular H3H3's video is going to be. Which, by the way, if you haven't seen H3H3's podcast, I would recommend. He's fantastic. He does some very good work. He is definitely more of a quality of life podcaster.
Which by the way, that's another point. It's a side point, but it is a point nonetheless. He criticizes H3 for doing just the podcast because he genuinely enjoys doing the podcast. He will also criticize Clown for not doing content on his main channel because he actually has a real job and enjoys doing that more. And he only makes videos if it's out of a stroke of inspiration. And he'd rather host a podcast or co-host a podcast like he's doing with Keem now. But he'll constantly shit on Clown for doing that. He'll constantly shit on Ethan for doing that. But he'll never do it.
Why?
Just goes to show what kind of human being he is. He'll cherry pick what is okay and what isn't for a person. He's fine if KSI just posts to his second channel a lot. He's fine if Mini Mentor does that. If he's fine with any of the Sidemen boys doing it. But he's not okay with Clown and Ethan doing it.
You know what I just realized he is, now that I'm thinking about it?
What?
He is absolutely the definition of the Halo 3 kid.
Yeah.
Oh,
think about it. You know what? The argumentative racist fucking backer.
I know Halo players that KSI was a Halo player, bro, and I think that's disrespectful to him.
No, let me explain. He is the definition of the Halo kid. Let me explain what I mean by that before somebody goes off on a rant saying, I love Halo. Let me explain. When most individuals that are not us sitting here right now hear about the Halo Kid, here's what usually pops in their head. A sweaty 13-year-old who says racist bullshit over mic in order to get themselves onto a higher plane of existence instead of just being a genuine human being. Wait a second.
Mm-hmm.
These type of individuals share, as a personality trait, hostility towards others, the inability to work a part of a team, and generally think that they are the best thing on their platform.
Yep. So
what I don't know what else to say there. I mean, listen, I was a Halo kid, and I'll admit that, but fucking I was not like that.
I wasn't. I barely played Halo, but
I understand that there are raging gamers out there, and you can absolutely be a raging gamer. You could be upset and pissed off. I mean, one of the most successful gaming things ever is Rage Quit.
Yeah.
Which is Michael Jones, who works at Achievement Hunter. Like, it's one of those things of, yeah, it was funny.
You're not wrong, but let's check this out. So, as of right now, as of today, he has now lost 10,000 subs.
Really? That was
in the course of 2 hours.
Wow. That was quick.
I'm not shocked about that, though.
He lost the 10,000 he gained over the weekend, last weekend. So he lost them all in a day.
Yeah, that's not a good number.
That's low.
So like he's down. He's now down to I think, well, his views count isn't down, and I'm sure it's not going to be down for a while, and I'm sure his revenue is probably going to increase and shit, depending on the video that isn't claimed by anybody, because that does happen on YouTube a lot. We should know. But he is down 10,000 subs that he literally gained over the weekend. So just tell you all you need to know.
10,000 fucking subs. That's
a lot. And look,
that's
subs
not a small
don't
amount.
mean everything. And don't get me wrong. I'm sure every YouTuber appreciates subs. But it's more the views that kind of get you out there, the comments, the likes and all that. But losing your core audience is still bad.
No, that's 10,000 people. That's a fucking, that is a fucking room. That's a good arena size of people.
That's all in Chicago size.
That's perspective based. That's a lot of fucking people. I know that a lot of people, there are individuals out there that go, that's really not that much. I'm sorry. I want you to be the person standing in a crowd of 10,000 people and tell me when you can see yourself in that crowd. Because I'll tell you that you're going to disappear amongst 10,000 people. That's a lot of fucking people to lose within seconds. Within 2 hours?
Within 2 hours, I think. Yeah, maybe
holy
2 to 4 hours since the H3 video has come out, yeah.
That's a lot of fucking people. That's a lot.
So we're not the only ones to think it, is my point.
Well, it's the fact that I'm shocked that he's still as high on the platform as he is. But I guess it's true what they say. Drama sells, and I can't believe I live in a world where that's okay. And we don't try to cover drama on here. We don't.
We really don't.
We really don't.
Look, it's not that you cannot criticize people, but there's a way.
There's a limitation on what you have the ability to say.
You just don't do it that way.
No, you don't fucking.
We're not social justice warriors by any means.
No, I don't want to be. I fucking hate those type of people. I fucking hate those type of people that have to try to defend somebody else instead of just defending themselves.
Right.
But as a YouTuber, you are subject to criticism.
Yeah.
That is what you signed up for.
As any content creator, you're subject to criticism. So we'll, criticize people all day long.
We criticize ourselves more than anything else.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake.
We've made mistakes, but to go and make false accusations of people,
to report people's deaths,
specifically ask you,
doxing.
yeah, When they
fraud.
specifically ask you not to report their deaths as well, by the way. Just everything. Everything that this man's done, I hate. I vehemently hate, and it makes me disgusted, and I'm more sad. Honestly, it's so depressing.
I only hope one thing, and this is my only hope. I hope that this gentleman here has something happen to him that he will never be able to recover from fully. Just to have the feeling once in his existence of how everybody else that has been affected by his platform in a negative way, and don't even say everybody's been affected positively. Yeah, go fuck yourself. This gentleman here needs to experience what that's like at least once.
Yep.
And properly. Because having the amount of power that he does as a content creator, YouTube should not allow that. He is a hateful, spiteful little man who believes that he is the biggest dog in the yard, but he's the one with the smallest bite. He may have the biggest bark, but he can't fucking say what is needed or will back up anything that anybody else will say.
No.
Whether he tries to or not. He is, beyond a shadow of a doubt, the killer of entertainment on YouTube. He is not a good individual. He is not a... you know what? If I had to put it in perspective, there's always that one friend at the party that you just don't want to have ever come back because he decided to piss in the pool.
That's Keemstar.
That's Keemstar. He's the friend that would piss in the pool.
Yeah.
And he has, and he's pissed in the pool for 4 years now. And I remember when he first started off, everybody went, "Oh, have you watched Keem?" And I went, "Who?" And now I've gotten to the point where somebody asks, "Have you watched Keem?" And I go, "He's still fucking relevant?" When?
To whom?
I don't know. That's 51.
He ain't relevant.
That's 51
he ain't relevant
million
to
people
us anymore, and that's why we're gonna end this podcast here.
We're not gonna do our casual cold open that we usually do.
No, we're not gonna do our commercial breaks. We'll have people that we usually promote at the end of this, and then we'll have the credits.
Yes,
this is a much different podcast, so we're not covering this anymore. No more Keem news. We're just done. The only time we will be covering him is in our little funny, try to make light of the situation of how much of a cunt he is with him being the first ballot as Hall of Famer in the Asshole Hall of Fame. But otherwise, there's not going to be any more mention of Daniel Keem. In fact, I will take a quote from wrestling when it came to Benoit. The actions of Daniel Keem are now apparent. So there'll be no more mention of Mr. Daniel Keem's name. On the contrary.
From this point on.
From this point on, the Indy Force are going to do what we do best. Entertain you. Good night, everybody.
From now until always.
But then he ended up joining WCW and the Alliance. Because when people think WCW, they think of the guy that basically helped WWF win the war, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Eric Bischoff, Uncle Bischoff, doesn't like his nephew Eugene. And we got Coach in Ohio, sporting Michigan-colored you. Fucker. That pissed me off.
Don't even get me started on Tony Storm crying. Oh, she cried. And the glass shatters. He opens the door. And off we go. Brawl ensues. They go all the way towards the Dipping Dots section where Cody dumps his Jericho's head in the Dipping Dots.
That was my favorite part. Next was Best Friends getting interviewed. And
somewhere Jim Cornette had a conniption fit. I got a ticket! I got a ticket!
Get out of here!
You don't mess
with
me!
Get out of here!
I have a ticket!
And literally, security and the police escort the Nightmare family off the premises.
MJF says, How you looking now, midlife, Chris?
Do to get by, cause I keep ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me.
A table from hell with the Psycho Asylum. An Iron Man match of factorial proportions. Man.
In this fight, I will melt you down to slag.
Versus machine.
I calculate a 0.85% chance that you will win in your current condition.
All metal mayhem. Colleen Horizon.
When you throw me into the wolves, I will return leading the pack.
Vera McGarden.
And I'll do anything to be the warrior on top.
For the Athena title, best friends turned bitter rivals. Johnny Starr.
Don't get in the way of the star or you'll get burned.
James, the Archangel.
I'm the real star of this brand.
For the international title, the outsider, Mark Young. The executioner, Michael X. For the WYW World Heavyweight title. 2 out of 3 fall.
Inside.
In a hell in a cell. WYW Immortal. Now available on YouTube.
Hibiki TMD on YouTube, retro gaming, pro wrestling, podcast, Terry Bollea, Hibiki Honors, Hibiki Quickie, everything in between. Hit that subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at the Hibiki TMD. And hey! Watch out for pedestrians, pal. You on the bike. Slow down. Hit that subscribe down below. Check us out at the Hibiki TMD on Twitter, Hibiki TMD on YouTube. Oh, the goddamn goodness.
What's up, bitches? Are you tired of being bored during quarantine? Well, to pass the time, check out hundreds of free classic games on PlayEmulator.com. This site offers so many classic titles from the Nintendo Entertainment System, all the way to the Game Boy Color. They also have a huge PSX library, along with an even bigger Sega library. The collection is massive and has hundreds of games, including, but not limited to, Sonic the Hedgehog, Super Mario World, Donkey Kong Country, the original Streets of Rage, Pac-Man and Mrs. Pac-Man, WWF No Mercy, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, Virtual Pro Wrestling, Super Mario 64, F-Zero and F-Zero X, the original Tetris, Contra, WCW NWO Revenge, Doom 64, all Street Fighter 2 titles, Pokemon X and Y, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, the Ultimate Mortal Kombat Trilogy, and much, much more. They also have a small section for MSX including the original Metal Gear. There are also fan-made emulators you can play, including Shadow in Sonic, Mario vs. Sonic.exe, Simpsons Streets of Rage, and a Street Fighter 2 version of Street Fighter 5. Go on PlayEmulator.com and enjoy the fun, fellow gamers, because this shit's super fun, yo. Indy Force approved.